What do you think is the best way that Funky Dragon can influence Welsh Assembly government policies?
Well, I think by one doing the sort of thing you're doing now, and that is asking me and challenging me on what I'm doing and what I think is important. And I think also by developing that into some sort of campaigning and communicating with Assembly members on what the people who are involved and what young people involved with Funky Dragon actually think, and by communicating that. One of the things that's impressed me within the Assembly is, for example, through the petition system, where a relatively small number of people can put a petition in and we have to consider it. And some of them that are coming through, which have come from grassroots people who are concerned about an issue, are now being discussed within the Assembly and will now influence, undoubtedly, some of the laws. I mean, take a very simple one, sometimes there's a lot of humour and joking about, but the provision of public toilets. There are a lot of people for whom that is an issue, certainly the elderly, people with disabilities and so on. If they go into town, if they want to actually mix in the community, they need to know that if they're going along, that there's access to a public convenience. A handful of people brought forward a petition. We've had a discussion on it. That may well result in new guidance, stronger guidance about that sort of provision. Now, that's only one area. It could be in all sorts of areas. It could be on the issue of youth provision within the Assembly, and that is something that we should be discussing. So, I think the opportunities are there, and I think it's through those sorts of mechanisms that you can actually have a direct influence on some of the discussions and debates, and ultimately the policies and legislation that goes through the Assembly. Devolution really does give people an opportunity, I think, if they use it, to have much closer control and influence over what is happening